Justin Herbert was never supposed to be here. Not like this, not this fast, not under these circumstances. He wasn't supposed to be the face of a franchise known more for heartbreak than hope. He wasn't supposed to be the calm eye in the middle of the Chargers' perpetual storm. But life doesn't care about blueprints, and football has a way of rewriting its own stories. When the Los Angeles Chargers stumbled upon their future by accident, the quiet kid from Oregon didn't just show up, he took over. From the first time he stepped onto an NFL field, it was clear he wasn't normal. He didn't walk or talk like a star, but the arm, the vision, the precision, that was different. There was no panic, no wide-eyed rookie confusion. When the moment came, he didn't flinch. He just played. That's who Justin Herbert has always been. Quiet on the surface, violent in execution. His rookie season wasn't supposed to happen. The Chargers had a plan, one that involved easing him into the league, letting him sit and learn behind veteran Tyrod Taylor. But plans rarely survive football's chaos. A freak accident, a team doctor's misplaced needle, changed everything. One punctured lung later, and a rookie with a clipboard was told to warm up. No warning, no preparation. Just a Sunday afternoon against the defending Super Bowl champions. And yet, when Herbert jogged onto the field against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, something clicked. The moment was too big for most, but not for him. He threw for 301 yards, ran for another touchdown, and nearly stole the game. No one knew who this kid was, but by the end of that afternoon, everyone did. The Chargers had found something. Something real. From there, the league couldn't look away. Herbert's rookie campaign became a series of jaw-dropping moments stitched together into one relentless highlight reel. Deep strikes, tight window lasers, pocket escapes that shouldn't have been possible for a quarterback his size. He set records that were supposed to be unbreakable. 31 touchdown passes, 8 300-yard games, and over 4,300 yards in his first year. The kid who wasn't even supposed to play had just delivered one of the greatest rookie seasons in NFL history. But this is the Chargers we're talking about, the franchise that turns miracles into meltdowns. For a moment, it felt like the curse might finally break. The quarterback drought that began after Philip Rivers' departure was over, and a new era was beginning. The question was never about whether Justin Herbert could play. It was whether the Chargers could build a world worthy of him, because talent alone doesn't save franchises. Structure does. And that's exactly what Los Angeles lacked. Herbert's second season only fueled the legend. He threw for over 5,000 yards, earned a Pro Bowl nod, and looked every bit like one of the league's next greats. But the Chargers still stumbled. Their defense couldn't hold. Their offensive line couldn't protect. Their stars couldn't stay healthy. Every time Herbert built a lead, the team around him found a way to let it slip away. By 2022, the cycle had become familiar. Breathtaking throws, heartbreaking losses, and then came the meltdown that would define the narrative. The wild card game against Jacksonville. A 27-point lead, gone. A season's worth of work, erased in 3 quarters. For once, it wasn't about what Herbert did right, it was about everything collapsing around him. When the Jaguars completed the comeback, the headlines weren't kind. Herbert isn't a winner. The Chargers can't finish. Same story, new name. It didn't matter that Herbert had thrown for nearly 5,000 yards again. It didn't matter that he was performing behind a patchwork offensive line or that his receivers spent half the year in street clothes. In football, perception is everything, and the perception was brutal. For 3 years, he carried that burden. The Chargers stumbled again, and then fell flat. Herbert played through pain, through chaos, through a fractured finger, and through constant change. Coaches came and went. Systems changed. The one thing that didn't was him. His poise never wavered. His numbers stayed elite, but the wins never came easy. It wasn't fair, but that's how greatness is measured, not by potential, but by hardware. And every loss became a weapon against him. He was accused of being emotionless, of lacking the fire to win. His calm was mistaken for coldness, his composure for complacency. But the truth? Herbert wasn't the problem. He was the one thing holding everything together. And all the while, he stayed himself. In Los Angeles, a city built on image, noise, and flash, Justin Herbert is almost invisible. He avoids red carpets. He doesn't chase endorsements. He once let a strength coach cut his hair in the weight room because he didn't care enough to book an appointment. He still clips coupons, thinks Whole Foods is overpriced, and wears hoodies until they fall apart. His idea of a good night out, staying in, watching film, and getting 8 hours of sleep, he doesn't do this for fame. He does it because for him, football is the fun part. And that's what makes him so dangerous. In a city obsessed with stardom, Herbert became the anti-star. While other quarterbacks leaned into the spotlight, Herbert leaned into the work. His teammates saw it. The quiet leadership, the calm command in the huddle, the laser focus in crunch time. He didn't have to scream or pound his chest. When he spoke, they listened. When the pocket collapsed, he stood tall. And then, just when it felt like the Chargers might waste another generational talent, change arrived. Jim Harbaugh, a coach who thrives on revivals, who builds order out of chaos, took over in Los Angeles. The move felt like destiny. Everywhere Harbaugh had gone, from Stanford to the 49ers to Michigan, he left behind discipline, identity, and wins. Now, he had the most talented quarterback he'd ever coached since Andrew Luck, and for the first time in years, the Chargers looked like a team with a plan. Harbaugh didn't come to fix Justin Herbert. He came to fix everything around him. He built the trenches first, big, mean, and physical. He brought back the power run game, something the Chargers had abandoned for too long. He demanded accountability, not just from the defense, but from everyone. And through it all, Herbert was the constant, the engine that made it all possible. For Herbert, Harbaugh was a lifeline. Finally, a coach who believed in structure over slogans, who valued toughness over talent. Someone who understood that quarterbacks like Herbert don't need to be molded, they need to be supported. And it's working. Slowly, quietly, the Chargers are beginning to change their reputation. No longer the team that folds under pressure, they've become something else. Steady, resilient, dangerous. The kind of team that can finally make noise in January. Because here's the truth. Herbert was never the issue. He was the foundation, the blueprint, the piece the franchise could never replace. What he needed wasn't another miracle comeback or another 400-yard performance. He needed time, trust, and belief. With Harbaugh, he has that now, and for the rest of the league, that should be terrifying. Justin Herbert is 27 now, old enough to have scars, but young enough to still write his story. The numbers have always been elite, but now he's learning. The one thing no stat can measure: how to win when everything's on the line. You can feel it in the way his teammates talk about him, in the way he controls the offense, in the way he shrugs off every headline that ever tried to define him. The quiet kid from Eugene has become the grown man in Los Angeles who refuses to break. He doesn't fit the city. He doesn't fit the mold. He doesn't care. Because while the world was busy counting him out, he was busy preparing to prove them wrong. The Chargers gave up on belief a long time ago. They had seen too many collapses, too many what-ifs. But now, belief is creeping back into the building. You can feel it in the stands, in the locker room, in the eyes of a quarterback who's been through it all and still hasn't flinched. They gave up on Justin Herbert. They doubted his leadership, his toughness, his edge, and now he's making them regret every word. Because in a league that's always chasing the next big thing, Herbert never needed hype. He just needed time. And time is finally on his side. So here we are. Another season. Another chance for redemption. The kid who wasn't supposed to start now has a chance to finish what he began. The quarterback who was blamed for losses he didn't cause is now the one leading a revival no one saw coming. And if he does what many think he's capable of, if he finally delivers the ring that's always eluded the Chargers, then maybe, just maybe, the City of Stars will realize the brightest light was the one that never needed to shine for attention. What do you think? Can Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh finally rewrite the Chargers' story once and for all? Has the league truly seen what this quiet assassin is capable of when he's given everything he's been missing? Drop your thoughts below, and if you love deep dives into the league's best redemption arcs, don't Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Because Justin Herbert's story isn't over. It's just getting started.